I now call the party spokespeople to ask their questions. Jan Finch-Saunders.
Cabinet Secretary, you will be aware that members across this chamber have raised concerns about the current local government funding formula. Now, with regards to that, you said to me in January, I've heard many Conservative members here arguing for a change in the formula. What I haven't heard is Conservative councillors arguing for that change in the formula. But I have copies here of letters sent to your department from Monmouthshire County Council and Vale of Glamorgan Council, writing after you took office on the 3rd of November. Both are signed by Conservative councillors and both state that their authorities wanted changes to the formula. In fact, the leader of the Vale of Glamorgan Council, Councillor John Thomas, was calling for a full review, and he still does today. Cabinet Secretary, how will you address this clear vacuum of engagement with local authority leaders, and will you please apologise to those councils who wrote to your department about the funding formula for dismissing their concerns so casually?
I'm aware of a correspondence I'm aware of a correspondence she has because I gave it to her, and I'm also very aware of its contents. What I will say to the member is that we work with local government to deliver a formula that local government wishes to use in order to distribute fairly our rate support grant to all local authorities in Wales. There is no and has been no proposal from local government to make significant and substantial changes to that formula. Clearly, the distribution subgroup will look at marginal changes to the formula through the year, and we've already published our work plan for the coming year. And I will continue to meet local government leaders and finance leads in local government in order to discuss with them how they see the formula working and whether they see the need for significant or substantial change. But to date, local government has not sought that significant and substantial change.
Cabinet Secretary, you didn't give these to me technically. I obtained these as a result of an FOI. Now, you stated yesterday that you have been talking to council leaders the length and breadth of Wales. Yet the WLGA have said that your green paper has caused disquiet and confusion. Further, the leader of Vale of Glamorgan Council has noted that there was no meaningful discussion or engagement with councils as regards this. This is yet another example where you are saying one thing in this chamber, but the reality is different. This casual approach of taking local authorities for granted, taking our voters for granted, and taking this assembly for granted will not cut it. There is demoralisation, there is fatigue, and there is growing frustration about your local government reform proposals, third in a line over the past 2 years. Now, do you not think, as the Cabinet member, fairly new in post, I'll give you that you have a duty, to remove these obstacles, particularly given the pressures that your Welsh Labour government has put our local authorities under, and to provide a clear, strategic, well-consulted-on plan for local government, with full engagement and agreement from local authorities before bringing it to this Assembly. I think that's the very least that those authorities deserve. Will you do that?
I have many conversations with local authority leaders of all political hues and none, and they've all say very different things in different ways and express themselves differently. But not one, including the leader of Vale of Glamorgan, in fact, has said to me, I wish that we want you to deliver Conservative policies, and the Conservative policies have been delivered for local government in England. Not one. What we've seen in England has been the dismembering of local government, the undermining of local government. We've seen funding in local government decrease by 12% across England in real terms. In Wales, we've seen local funding increase by 4.4%. The National Audit Office report on the capacity within local government in England, published earlier this month, was an indictment of policy in England, of conservative policy for local government. What we're doing here is putting forward proposals to strengthen and empower local government. What we're seeing in England is the undermining of local government. And let me give you this undertaking, Presiding Officer. Whatever proposals come out of the consultation I launched yesterday, what we will test all those proposals against is, does this empower and strengthen local government? And if it does, we will move forward. We have a vision of a vigorous local government, an activist local government, a local government that works with Welsh Government in supporting and delivering public services. We will never follow the conservative route of undermining local government, underfunding local government and undermining local authority leaders.
Well, thank you, Cabinet Secretary. Could you perhaps tell me of one local authority leader that has backed these plans so far? Now, the WLGA have spoken of the recent Welsh Government's assurance that no reorganisation would occur for 10 years. Yesterday, your Green Paper proposals destroyed that stability, and with it, the confidence, the morale, and any ability to plan for the future for local authorities. Can I ask you a question as well? At what point was this raised with your Welsh Government Cabinet colleagues? And can you tell me today also whether you have the support for your proposals going forward from each and every single one of your Cabinet colleagues?
Yes. Well, I come here to speak on behalf of Welsh Government, not to speak on behalf of myself. And the process that we launched yesterday was a government process. It was a government process. It was launched by the Welsh Government as a whole. But let me say this. I have a vision. I asked all local government leaders before Christmas what their ambitions were for local government. I asked all local government leaders to send to me their suggestions for the powers, the freedoms, the flexibilities, the additional responsibilities that they wanted from local government. I asked them to outline what their vision was for local government. And, you know, the leader of Available Glamorgan has been mentioned by the member for North Wales and for Aberconwy. So let's understand what the leader of Available Glamorgan asked for. Automatic cameras in car parks. That is the vision of Conservatives for local government. It's not much of a vision. It's pretty thin stuff. Our vision for local government is of empowered councils. We're able to deliver strong and effective public services, protecting public service workers, protecting public services and delivering stronger councils in the future than we have today, devolving power from this across the whole of Wales. That is a vision which I believe garners support both here and across the whole country.
Maybe it's